This is the sound of the blues scale. Now, Wynton Marsalis says, a melody is worth 1,000 scales. And he's right. You can't learn to play jazz or blues music just by learning scales. But the blues scale is a really useful scale to learn. And you may or may not know that there is both a major blues scale and a related minor blues scale. So in this video, I'll teach you how to find both the major and minor blues scales, and then how the two relate to each other. As with most things in music theory, we're going to define these two scales by relating them to the major scale. So we'll use the key of C major for an example. The major blues scale will be based on the 1, 2, flat 3, 3, 5, and 6 of that scale. And you can repeat that across multiple octaves if you like. The minor blues scale will be based on 1, flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, and flat 7. And here I'm still naming all those scale degrees based on the major scale. If you like, you can also think of C minor, in which case this is just 1, 3, 4, flat 5, 5, and 7. So those are your basic formulas. Now, if you know all of your major and minor scales, you can pretty easily derive all the other major and minor blues scales. If you don't know your major and minor scales, you should head to pianofluency.com, where I have a whole progressive learning path that will help you become really comfortable with those key signatures. Now, I mentioned that the major and minor blues scales are related, and they're related in the same way that a major diatonic scale is related to a natural minor scale. So here's C major. Its relative minor is A minor. We call those relative major and minor scales because they share all the same notes. So for another example, here's A flat major. Its relative minor is always going to be 3 half steps lower using the same set of notes. So we're going to start on F because that's 3 half steps below A flat, but then we'll use the same key signature as A flat. So 4 flats. That's the relative minor to A flat major. The major blues scale and the minor blues scale follow exactly the same logic in how they're related to each other. So here's the C major blues scale. Here's the A minor blues scale. You notice they have all the same notes. We're just starting and ending in a different place. And that's what makes the A blues scale, using this set of notes, sound minor, whereas the C scale, using this set of notes, sounds more major. Now, it's really useful to learn both of these scales in every key and learn how they're related to each other. Because as you start to learn licks or riffs, the academic term for that would be idiomatic vocabulary. As you pick up little phrases that belong in the styles of music that use these two scales, if you know them in every key, you can start to apply that lick or riff that you like in lots of different contexts. So for example, here's a lick or riff that uses C minor blues. Now, if I know that the relative major is E flat major, I can use exactly the same lick against E flat major. Now, things get really interesting when you combine the sound of major blues with the sound of minor blues on the same piece of music. And you'll hear improvisers do this all the time, for example, on a 12-bar blues. So let me demonstrate using a C 12-bar blues. Personally, I found that learning these two scales in every key was really useful to me as I started doing the more important work of transcribing soloists that I liked, because it allowed me to put things into context and have a little bit of understanding that let me take a riff or a phrase that I liked and put it into lots of different keys and different songs. So if you're interested in learning to improvise in jazz or blues styles of music, I do highly recommend that you get familiar with both your major blues scale and your minor blues scale, and then look for places where they come up in the context of real music. You can subscribe to my channel if you'd like more free piano education, or if you'd like to learn piano with me more deeply with assignments for your practice, you should go to my website, pianofluency.com. Thank you for joining me. I'm Ted with Piano Fluency.